Hi, everyone. Hope you all are having a good night. We have a special guest with us tonight. Hi, Melissa. Welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Excited to have you.
Hi,
I like that.
out.
Figuring it out. Figuring out the side. How are you tonight?
Good. It's been a long week because work is busy, but I was just watching the ICL, which is always fun to let the night go.
Oh my gosh.
I always love watching it as well. I'm always sad that we're on and usually I'm getting ready for the show. So I'll put it on in the background while we're getting ready.
Yep. No, that makes sense. I know. I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, it's Wednesday, so it's just going to overlap, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm cold.
I'm
in a sweatshirt, but I'm cold.
Cold? It's Texas. It can't be cold there.
If I go outside, it's 90 degrees.
Miserable here. We have
fair
first heat wave of the summer, so not loving that.
Fair.
Whereabouts are you? I know you're on the East Coast, right?
I'm in Pennsylvania, so it's been a little warm this week. No, I'm in Pittsburgh, so the other side of the state. We're closer to Ohio.
I'm in Pittsburgh. My husband actually used to live there before he moved to.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we have lots of friends there. They mostly, I think they all play Magic. Been trying to coerce them into playing Lorcana, but they're set.
I'm sure I've run into them. There's a good amount of stores, but we cycle.
It's like the good stores, and it's pretty much like the same few stores.
Yes.
Yeah, he was from Cannonsburg.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, I'll take your 60, Alex.
Yeah,
in Portland. That sounds wonderful. Well, today we are going to just talk about, I think, in general, competitive play as females, because all three of us have played competitively. I think you and Bri the longest since the start.
You definitely the most successful.
Yes.
Hey, we all have our fair share of days.
Yes. But just kind of as some background for why we started the show, because we didn't get to really talk a ton before we went live today. We wanted to kind of represent competitive players and conversations of the meta and everything from a female perspective, and give voice to other female players, so that kind of have our moment, because we know that this is a pretty male dominated game and industry. So I think particularly Lorcana, we've seen a lot more women play. So we wanted to kind of give that space.
Yeah. Specifically, we love Dan TFM, but we definitely see you at equally enough events, and definitely see you winning a lot. And we would like to definitely kind of turn the spotlight off of Dan a little bit and onto this gem that he has right next to him.
Yes, absolutely.
No, I think that's fair. It's funny because I was in Boston up until earlier this year, or I guess technically last year because it's May now. But in Boston, when we first started playing, obviously, when Lorcana came out, it was super male dominated, and people would walk up, and I'm sure you guys probably get this too when you play. They're like, "Oh, are you just the +1? Are you just playing for fun?"
Playing,
and then it's you sit down and you actually win, and they're like, "Oh, you know what you're doing."
Yeah. Bri and I always joke before any major tournament, we have a tradition of going to get our nails done, and basically as girly as we can be, just so that
we go full blown Disney ears, the lounge flies.
You guys should have seen me in not Texas, at Anaheim during the LCQs and everything.
I was there. Yeah.
I was full on Disney, in my Lulu, in my lounge fly, with my ears, everything.
Oh yeah, because it was a Disney trip that you also played Lorcana.
Yes,
that's what it was.
At
least it was Lorcana first, and then when Lorcana was done, we went to Disney, and it was great.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I kind of love that little bit of disarming that you get when you walk up to a table and you definitely sit down and your opponent automatically will write you off a lot of times. I think that isn't all the time.
And they don't even realize they even do it, I don't think. Because a lot of them are just It's like when the 8-year-old gets sat across from you, you're like, oh, okay.
Right.
And then they aggro out and you're like, oh gosh, what happened?
Exactly.
Just, oh yeah, I just really like Lilo. So I have all the different Lilos in here. I'm like, oh yeah, that's from set 1. This is one doesn't really die. Like,
this one is just there forever.
Yeah. You're just like, oh no. But it's definitely interesting seeing the switch in them when they go from like their posture and they're kind of like leaning back, looking at their cards, and then you start doing really well. They start sitting up, and then they start messing with their hat. And like they're
like, oh, I actually have to pay attention.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, okay, now you're getting serious.
Yes.
It's funny.
So the first question that we wanted to ask you was basically about how you started to play. Is this your first TCG, or have you played other TCGs before?
No, it is my first TCG. I'm just the biggest Disney adult ever.
I love it. We're in good company.
Look behind.
I was going to say, you can't see mine right now because they're in the other room, but like the plushies, the ears, the backpacks, the hats, the magic bands, like we got it all.
Ooh, yes. I love it. I just got, I have the Cinderella ears behind me. Oh, this way behind me.
That side, yes, I see them.
And I got the magic band, which I was super excited about. And also the spirit jersey.
Oh, always. You can't go at home. Like, I can't go on a trip without a spirit jersey.
Exactly.
It just is.
It's also just a great thing to wear at tournaments because it's the perfect amount of warm in like some of those halls, but not like overly. It's great.
Yeah, I feel like I'm wearing pajamas. The first time I actually wore one was at the LCQ. It was whenever I got the first. She got me my first.
I got her first one,
and then
welcome to the club.
Left with like 4, I think, by the end of the trip. So I was like, I love these things.
They're great.
It's like,
being that this is your first TCG, like, how did you feel when you started versus now? Do you feel like it's definitely like night and day?
Yeah. So I was at Gen Con. That would be 2 years, almost 2 years ago now, because summer. My boyfriend Biden goes to Gen Con every year. Like, he has his routine of like games and stuff he does. And I was going. It was actually my first time at Gen Con, but it wasn't because of Lorcana. But when we realized Lorcana was going to be there, it was like, okay, we're going to get in line. Like, we're going to join all the hype. Granted, like, we were at the original D23 also, like, prior to that. So like we had,
you have the set, don't you?
I do have the set, but I did not get it there, and I did not get it for retail. Mistakes were made.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay. As also a collector, I pass no judgment.
Well, so here's the thing. Like, I went to D23 because we collect pins. Well, we still collect pins, but like Disney pin trading was like our thing, like during the pandemic, before the pandemic, like that was when we're not at Disney and we're not at the parks, we get to stay connected thing. Yeah. And so we were at D23, we went to the panels, like, and there were pins that we really wanted to get. So we got in a line like super early in the morning. I don't know if you guys had been, or for anyone like in the streams has been.
I've never been, but I like have always watched and like will follow content creators that go regularly. So I know the chaos. Basically,
like, if you want anything good, like, you have to be there at like 3 a.m. and like you sit on the street in a line, and then like they let you into the convention center, and then you go into another line and you wait there until like 8 a.m. and then they bring you to the floor and you wait in another line. Yeah. Needless to say, we were in a pin line. We were committed to what we were doing. We were like in and out super quick, and we bolted over to Lorcana, and they were already gone for the day.
Sorry, my dog is barking because right before the show started, the dogs were banned from the office because they were not behaving. And then they started just sitting at the door barking.
But yeah, so like it was a whole thing. I got the Mickey. I have my Brave Little Tailor. I did not get the set when we were there. A very good friend of ours did get the set, and arrangements were made. I have a set. But needless to say, like, I was super hyped. I did the walkthrough. Like, I kind of knew what it was, but I didn't know how to play. So we go to Gen Con, get pushed and shoved. It's like a whole disaster.
I've seen the videos, and it's terrifying.
It was not pleasant. But like, we didn't get product on Thursday. We got our product on Friday. It's fine. I had a ticket to the Learn to Play. Like, we couldn't get into the starter deck tournament, but we were in the Learn to Play. And I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to go. I left the Learn to Play still having zero clue what to do. Like, the people educating us were not the most informative. Like, it was just, I didn't understand TCGs. I was turning things sideways, but I didn't understand that, like, I had to get to 20 lore. I didn't know what the challenging aspect was. Just like, it was my first time playing.
PAX Unplugged. And I think that's the first time I met you. Actually,
yes.
I was pregnant, so it would have been 2023 PAX.
It was December.
Yes.
That was that year. Yes.
Yeah. So events even through then were so like, they were so overwhelmed by the amount of like the turnout and them just not anticipating that Disney was going to blow up like it did, that it was just felt like chaos.
It was such chaos. And then they told us we needed deck lists, but they didn't have paper for us. And we had to like write our deck list by hand, but like on like just regular white paper. It was, I didn't know how to write a deck list out.
Yeah. No, I was like 9 months pregnant. We were there and we were staying in an Airbnb with, I'm Kyle McGinty.
Oh, yes.
And so we were all there together with our other friend, Claudio. And we all went, and I was like 9 months pregnant, like falling asleep on the table.
I can't believe you like got on a plane that late.
It was the day we got home was the day that I was no longer allowed to travel.
Fair.
Yeah. But
determined.
Yeah. All the walking was very good for or for labor and all the things. All things that go with having babies. PAX Unplugged, aside from it being super far away from my doctor, was not awful for going around and doing it. It's just, the doctor was not a fan of me flying to Philly. But I was like, I have to go to the writing market.
Yep.
Like, I need it.
Reasonable. PAX Unplugged was a good time.
Okay. So yeah, we were there and I was like, I have no idea what's happening because I'd never played TCGs before. That was the first like big tournament thing that I'd actually gone to where I'd actually been participating. Because like, I'd gone to tournaments.
My second ever like big tournament.
Yeah, I've been going for like Magic for my husband doing stuff, but I've called it the Magic on the last every other time it gets brought up and I get attacked. So I haven't really played. I have one deck that I kind of know how to play that he's been trying to teach me for like 6 years.
Yeah.
But there's like 100-something cards in the deck, and they all do like 50 things. I'm like, this is confusing. Hence why we started Lorcana. It's much easier to pick up.
Much easier.
The one nice thing I'll say from like getting in at the ground was there were obviously you're learning, but everyone else is also learning. So like, unlike jumping into Magic where people have been playing for 30, 40 years, like we're all learning together in a way. And like now people probably like, they probably look at you the same way they look at me. It's like, oh, you're playing your cards really fast. You know what you're doing. And it's like, well, I've only been playing almost like not even 2 years at this point.
This is Jester.
Yeah, everybody. Our first dog appearance on the show.
Hey, he's behaving. Oh, she's behaving.
She is, for once.
She says, look, I'm pretty.
It'll go straight to her head. I agree with that. I think that's like a really good point. I started in set 3 because I was working on my MBA, so wasn't able to really commit to League or find product at the time. So I was just like, I'm going to wait a little bit until a new set comes out and I have free time. And I felt the same way. Like I watched a couple videos because at that point, like a lot of content creators had put like intro to like, here's how to play. And that was super helpful. And then I had played a little tabletop Magic and like kitchen table. So not official. But I felt like semi-comfortable with it and basically just like dove in and was like, I'm just gonna keep playing until eventually I get good.
I felt like
eventually you kind of just figure it out.
Like really quickly though. Like we met and then not even a couple weeks later we were at the Hunter Burton competing and tournament and she had not even been playing for very long and I think she still did better than me. I was very distracted.
Yeah, you had a baby. That's fair.
I was
reasonable.
I brought a newborn with me to a tournament, but it's fine.
You just wanted to play.
Yeah. How did you get connected to Forbidden Mountain?
Great question. So I watched a lot of their stuff online, just like a lot of other people. And Ben and I decided we wanted to go to PAX Unplugged because we were in Boston at the time, 4.5-hour drive, super easy. We had basically we said if we can get event tickets to play in the Lorcana tournament, we'll take the drive down. So we got our event tickets and then we bought our convention tickets.
I did. And that's exactly.
Yeah, I was like, if I get into Lorcana, then I want to go. If not, I don't really have a reason enough to be there.
Yeah.
Right. So we got our event tickets, both events, which was awesome. We bought our stuff. I hadn't been to Philly in as an adult. Probably the last time I went was visiting friends in college.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew nothing about the convention center. And all of a sudden, I joined the TFM Discord because I'd watched all their videos and supported their stuff. And they had a thread going and they're like, hey, anyone going to PAX Unplugged, you can talk in here. And I was the weirdo just asking a bunch of questions. I was like, what's the deal with parking? What's the hotel situation? Should I get an Airbnb? Should I get a hotel? And Dan's like, oh, I work at this convention center all the time. I'll tell you everything. Then kind of, he was helpful. Then we get to the tournament. We played the starter deck tournament. I did not do very well. I attribute that mostly to not knowing what I was doing. I was fine, but definitely looking back, probably made a ton of mistakes. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we get into the constructed tournament, which was, I think, on the Saturday, if I remember correctly, super early in the morning. And 2 or 3 rounds into the tournament, I pair into Dan. And I'm like, oh, I have to play the Forbidden Mountain. And he's there, TFM Scott's there. I believe Kylie was there too. I don't remember if she played, but she was definitely there. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, guess I'm playing against someone important. And I'm still a scrub. We play a mirror match. We're both
against Scott in that tournament. And
we pair, yes. It was fine. We were both playing Ruby Amethyst. It was best of 1. Dan beat me. Whatever. We didn't talk a bunch after that. I definitely talked to him a little bit at the convention, just introduced myself, and then kind of moved on with life. A few months later, so now a teammate and friend, Pave, won PAX Unplugged. He was the guy with the flutes, Seal Song. His good friend was also there, who I played against. Happened to be somebody I played in my only other competitive tournament in 2 months before, up in New England. And so we all start talking and end up becoming better friends with Pave and other people. And Pave convinced me that I should go to SCG Philly. He's like, hey, I joined TFM, a bunch of us are going, you said you want to get better at the game. What's a better way to get into the game than go to these big conventions? Because I missed Hartford. I was on a Disney cruise when Hartford happened. So all my friends went to SCG Hartford, which was an hour-and-a-half drive.
That's how, okay. So that's very funny because I was really upset when Worlds got announced, the dates, because I'm going to be on a vacation.
Yes.
In the Bahamas.
Yeah, in the Bahamas.
And Courtney.
Yes. And everybody's reaction is oh, poor you. And I was like, I want to go to Worlds though. And then I felt better when Worlds was not open.
Now no one gets to go.
No one else goes. But yeah, so I missed SCG Hartford because I was on a Disney cruise and then in Disney World. I know, boo-hoo. It was great. I had a good time. But all my friends played, everyone was there. So my friends were like, well, just come to this one. You've driven to Philly once before. Why don't you just do it again? Mm-hmm. So we go. We drive down on Friday. We don't play the Friday tournament. We play Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, I once again pair into Dan. Swear to God. We once again play a mirror match because we both play Ruby Amethyst at the time. He once again beats me. Sunday.
Anytime I go to events with Kyle, I'm like, can I not play against Kyle? Can we just put it in there where we don't get paired up round 1 or 2?
Yeah, but at least you and Kyle are friends. I'm not actually friends with Dan at the time. Yeah. He's just the guy who runs the YouTube.
The guy who runs the YouTube. I love that.
I love that.
Like in my head, that's all he was. He was just like this important guy who knows how to play card games.
Yeah, that's very fair.
I was so out of touch with everything at PAX Unplugged where I think I just started talking to him. Like he was just like, I don't know what we were doing something. And his wife, she was there, and I remember talking to her because of me being super pregnant. And of course, anyone who's had kids is like, oh my gosh, you're insane.
Why are you here?
Do you need anything? Like, how can I help you? You look miserable. And so like, I remember she came over, was talking to me and checking on me, seeing if I like needed anything. And then he came over and I was waiting on Kyle and my husband because they were in the top cut for the tournament. And so I was like, well, my 2 rides are... the 2 people I'm here with are still playing, so I'm stuck here.
Yep.
And so I was like, well, I'm gonna go shopping.
Seems reasonable.
Go through the loop and just get as many promos as I can.
Yep.
Because like every purchase you got a promo versus like now you go to things that if they start doing the
and it's like the one.
Like you have one and you have to buy X amount before you can get this.
Yes.
At PAX the first time it was unhinged and it was like
I remember this.
I can buy a single pack, get a promo, and then go back through the line and get another.
And do it again.
I have nothing else to do for the next 3 hours. I'm stuck here.
Which
the worst part was on Sunday, they didn't give out the right one. So I ended up with unequal amount. I'm sure you did too. Of all 3.
Me too. It drove me nuts. I ended up like finding people that needed them and just like helping fill in other people's collections just because it bothered me having extras. Like I had over a full play set of each of them and I was just like, we have extra of all of them and then we have extras of certain ones. And I was like, okay, too many.
But it was always the same one. Like everyone needed the one that nobody had.
But I was glad that you had extras because I got them this year for Christmas because I needed them for my master set.
The collection, yes.
Yeah. That was our last full set that we had. I literally kept a full set of them for extra because like I feel like somebody is gonna need a full set of these at some point, and we're gonna need like one of all of these to give to somebody. And I just we just had them in the binder for the past year. And then Courtney was talking about how she needed it, and I was like, haha, they've come in handy.
You're like, oh, this is an easy gift.
Yes.
Exactly. I got her for Secret Santa and I was like,
that's a win.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I parented Dan on Saturday. Spoilers, I also parented him on Sunday. And on Sunday we drew because I played too slow. And I didn't know that you're supposed to concede when you play too slow. So it literally ended in a draw.
So many like unspoken rules of TCGs that I feel like there's
was new. I just
like, oh no.
Like I literally didn't know. So like he wins game 1, I win game 2 or whatever the case is. And like, it's time. And I just didn't had I known, I totally would have just conceded because he's just a better player, but I didn't know. So it went to time. And that was that.
Several times whenever I first started playing, whenever I got paired against Kyle, and I was just like, cool, I'm just going to put in that you won. And we can see if we can finish playing by the time the round's over.
Yeah. Right.
Just once I figured that out, I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and just concede now.
Yeah. But yeah, so after the event, like I stayed in touch with Dan and a bunch of other people, talked about just like Disney. There was something D23 related, like news wise, was coming out. And like we were genuinely just talking about like my obsession with Disney and like all sorts of stuff. And then like eventually one thing led to another. That same weekend, I also paired into like Rob Serpay and had to play him. So it was just like, I went through like at the time a TFM gauntlet as just like somebody who didn't know what they were doing. A week later, I went to a local tournament and won an Enchanted Elsa. That was great.
I have heard talk of your Elsa streak. How many have you won and or pulled? Because I don't know
So,
what it is.
So I've won 2, and I won them both during Inkland's meta, which was great. I also pulled a Japanese one when Japanese flood came out, so that was really exciting.
I am insanely jealous. Though I also had luck and was able to pull one after a set champs. I had gone undefeated in like the normal rounds, got to top 8. lost top 8 and I was pouting.
She was pouting, and then they
had one single gift set.
They had been holding on to it for like months. The store was just like, no, we don't want to sell it. We don't want to sell it. And then she's just, I want to buy it. And they're like,
they moved like a product that I wanted first. It was like the Floodborne gift set, that had the like promos, and I needed one more promo set for my master like play set.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Those. And when they moved it, I saw the first chapter gift set, and I was like, and I will take that as well. I don't care how much it is, I'll take it.
Right.
And they're like, I don't know if we're selling it. I was like, well, you should go ask someone because I want it.
Yes, you're like, I will give you money.
I am buying it.
And they're like, yeah, sure, you can sell it to her. And my friend
it was dust on it.
Yeah, it had dust on it. That's
I believe it.
Just sitting on the shelf and then refusing to sell it for so long.
Because it was set.
That was Ursula's.
No, it was the set after that. It was Maribel.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, it was that long?
Yes. And my friend like jokingly said it is like, it's gonna have an Elsa in it. It's gonna be hilarious when you pull it. And I opened the pack like literally right after he said that. And I just started laughing. And he's like, you're joking. Like you didn't actually pull it. And I just turned it and I was like, yes, I did.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, we had just left and we were like not even like 5 minutes down the road because she is, as soon as she gets it and purchases it, immediately starts ripping it. So like I'm not even 5 minutes down the road, and then she texts me a picture of it, and my husband was like, "Shut up!" No, she didn't. He's like,
that's
no
awesome.
Way. And I was like,
yeah, we were opening our Japanese not Floodborne first chapter like when we got it, and like we were going through boxes and like pulled legendaries, but like nothing super exciting. We're like down to the last box and like we get to it and I was like, oh, and my face just dropped and they're like, you pulled Elsa. And I'm like, yep.
I love it.
She is.
Hi, buddy. The only boy that's allowed on the stream is Watson.
Classic.
Yeah.
If I ever film at home.
Before I forget to answer Kirby's question, she was asking what promos were at PAX, and that was
4 dozen eggs, Rapunzel,
the one where she's like
the swinging Rapunzel,
and Pinocchio.
Yeah.
The puppet Pinocchio.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think the next question as I look at my list of questions that I had for you. I think one of the questions I would have, because I think talking about set champs and making it to like that one in particular, I was the only female who made the top 8. And I know you are also tend to be alone in the top cut. How does that feel? And like, how do you kind of manage that? I think now it's probably a little bit easier, but like when it first started, like, how did you feel like it was received?
Yeah, so I'll go all the way back actually to when I won my second Elsa because I think it's super relatable. So like it was March of last year. I had gotten back from PAX Unplugged. Like I knew that I wanted to play Ruby Amethyst because I had been playing Ruby Amethyst. I knew that at the time, like Rob, Serpay, and George had like won both tournaments on Ruby Amethyst. And I had been in touch with like Rob and other people saying like, hey, like, what was different about your list than my list? Like, what are changes I can make? Because like, I really want to win, but like, I don't know if I can do it. And like, I had talked to Rob a little bit and we landed in a spot where like, I decided this was the change I was going to make. And like, I was confident I liked my change and like, that's fine. And I was like, okay, I'll go in and I'll play. The tournament had like decent turnout. Wasn't huge, but like wasn't tiny. I like lose one of my Swiss games and literally squeak in at like 7th or 8th. I'm like, oh, I am like the last person. End up going basically on a tear, and I have to rematch the person who beat me and rematch the other, like my 2 losses in Swiss are my top 8 and my top 4. And then I get to the finals and I play this other guy who's like at the time scariest guy in the room. I end up beating him. He was on Amethyst Emerald. Like,
okay. Ooh.
And at the time, that deck was running like Ursula, boss is on a roll. Like, I'm just going to go really fast. And like, I end up beating him in 3 games. apparently I learned after the fact I misplayed and I could have won a turn earlier, which his friend was watching and then told like Ben and myself after the fact. So whatever, I end up winning, all is good. And like 2 weeks later, we find out there's this other tournament. And this second tournament for Win Elsa was basically like, let's prep for Stitch set champs. Like everyone's excited, set champs are about to start, like whatever. I walk in, so it's taking place in a church because the store who's running the tournament doesn't have space in their store. Like it was just like this tiny little store. They can't hold tournaments in it, but they wanted to run the event. So like I walk into the church and like literally people start rolling their eyes at me. And I'm like, come on. They're like, well, you just won and like now you're here to win again. I'm like, I'm here to play for set, like practice for set champs. If I win, I win. If not, I'm getting experience. I end up pairing a friend of the person who I beat for the other Elsa, like round 1. He was on Steel Song with Lanterns, and I end up like 2-0ing him or something in best of 3. And like I end up just going on this tear, getting to top cut again, and it's like a whole thing. But like throughout that entire day, the amount of people who would just look at me and be like, ugh, like she's here again. And it's like, I'm just another person. Like I could be a...
I feel like that's such a relatable reaction because I think don't hate the player, hate the game. Yes, exactly. I feel like if you were a guy, it wouldn't like someone.
It would be
exactly
wow, this great play. Oh my gosh, Zan Saeed is here at our tournament.
Right. Yeah. And instead it's like, ugh, like she's trying to win again. And it's like, dude, I'm just trying to play. Yeah. So like at that point, it definitely feels a lot more like awkward and intimidating because like I'm not the only female in the room, but I am the female that makes top cut over and over again. And I see Caroline's comments and like totally relatable. Yes, Caroline. So like I make it to top cut and like I very much have this mentality of, okay, I'm going into it. I know how to play my deck, right? Like at that point in time, Ruby Amethyst was really the only deck that I was consistently performing with. So like, I know how to play against Steel Song. I know how to play against discard. I don't like the discard matchup, but I know how to deal with it. Like it wasn't even Diablo yet. It was just Bucky.
Yeah.
And Floodborn, but it still like
the squirrel, RIP.
And Prince John and Sudden Chill and Hypnotize. Like you had the whole 9 yards. And so you'd like, I just started taking an approach of like, I can't really think about what other people are saying. And I just more have to remember that like, I'm here because I want to be here. And if they can't admit that I'm just as good and should be treated as an equal, like they're the problem, not me. So like now when I go into set champs, like I'm very much treated as an equal. And quite frankly, people are excited and they're like, oh, like she's back.
Yeah.
But it wasn't always the case.
Yes.
No, I think that's very interesting. And I feel like I've experienced the same thing when like the set champs come around and like going to different stores because we sort of have like set stores in the DFW area because there's so many. And at first, like it was definitely like, why are they coming to our store?
Either that or I get a, oh, you made top cut? Good for you, sweetie. Kind of attitude. I have been playtesting with my friends like every day for the past 2 weeks. So
yes, I made top cut.
Yes, I made top cut. I worked really hard. This is the fourth Elsa or fourth Ursula I won. Thank you very much.
But
it's funny because I could not win an Ursula card for the life of me. Like that was it was not my meta.
I was on red purple that set, and it just for whatever reason clicked. I lost in top 2 to Kyle McGinty, I think like twice. I was so mad. But I was also like, it's because I've been playtesting with you every day this week. You know what I'm gonna do. And we were literally silent through our match because we didn't have to speak because we got so used to.
Because you knew the lines. Yeah. He was probably playing Sapphire Steel.
And he's just like, okay, so Bri, he's like, he can read my body language where he knows like what cards I have in my hand. I feel like he can just see like a reflection off of my glasses to just know my cards in my hand. Because he's like, I feel like you're gonna do this. He's like, he's like, this wouldn't really make sense, but I feel like you might do it anyways. And then I'm like, I can't even do something silly because you're still gonna picture it.
Yep.
Yes. This sounds normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that set chance I did good, but that one also I was like out to prove a point because I had a pretty crappy experience with set champs for the stitches.
Fair.
Yeah, pretty crappy.
Stitches were like really competitive.
And I was like definitely like not wanting to compete in them because of how negative my first experience was with set champs.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, the next one went through and I was like, you know what? I really feel like I'm missing out. Like I want to do it. So then I took it super serious and was like, I'm going to go and I'm going to crush everyone.
Good.
To prove a point.
Yeah.
Kyle, I need your help.
I mean, sometimes that's what it is though, right? Like you know what you want to do and you can't let other people get in the way of that. Like I was so defeated that it's like I got to top 8 twice during Ursula's, but it was only top 4 for cards, and then I would lose in top 8, and I was so frustrated. And then like Texas DLC was coming around, and I was like, I need to do something because I could not win an Ursula for the life of me. And like when we were in Chicago, so I got 101 in Chicago, which like I should have been thrilled about. But Chicago was a 1,000 person DLC, so only top 64 got Let It Go. And I was so frustrated because I'm like, I proved myself, like I did it. I did all these things. Like my record was great, but it wasn't good enough. Yeah. So like by the time we got to like the Airbnb for Texas, I was like, I don't care what I'm playing, but like I'm playing something to beat Diablo because Diablo destroyed me during Ursula's set champs.
Yes.
And I learned Steel Song and I played Diablo the entire day and earned my Let It Go. And I was like, redemption.
I went back to Red Purple because I was like, listen, it treated me well. It works great with how my brain operates. And then all I played that whole day, literally 5 of my matchups were against Blue Steel. Sapphire Steel.
Yes.
Yeah. And by the end of the day, and then like another one of them was Steel Song. And I was just like, I got to the last one, it was Steel Song. And I was just like,
well, we were in flutes at that point, and you couldn't and Ruby Amethyst couldn't deal with flutes.
There's no item removal, so they were just like flute. Yeah. Okay, you get to play nothing. I'm just gonna crush everything, and you can't get rid of my stuff. I
will play my irrelevant grab your sword so that I can tap my 3 flutes and move on with life.
Exactly.
I say yep because I am the Steel Song player.
Yes,
especially that set. She was just like hee 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 hee. No,
but like that's where I basically learned Steel Song was for Texas because I was just so fed up, and I was like, I can't play what I've been playing. Like I tried 4 different decks for set champs and it just wasn't clicking.
Yeah, that's how it's funny because I played Steel Song and I'm jealous of your matchups that you had for Texas because mine were not that good. I kept pairing into red blue, Ruby Sapphire.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to see.
I was just like, cool, I'll try, but it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, no, like I started the day, it was like Ruby Amethyst. Then I played, I think, a second Ruby Amethyst.
Oh.
So like I went like 2-0, I split. Then I played a discard, like Emerald Steel, and I got 0-2'd and I was furious. I was like, I know this matchup, like I don't know what I did wrong.
Yeah.
Like what in the world happened? And then like I just went on this tear and I ended up getting to a spot where it's like, okay, it's round 9, like I can't make day 2, but if I win, like I win.
Yeah.
And then like I 2-0'd my opponent and I'm like, okay, it's mine. Like a real 2-0. Like there was no funny business, no nothing. I was like, I am not agreeing to anything. Like someone has to earn this the proper way.
Yeah.
So slightly off topic, but still on the topic of Lorcana, just because I'm curious and it's been itching my brain since we got you on here. So when it comes to deck building, do you build your own decks? Is it like a group effort or like where's your process in building your decks?
I will say I'm not by myself the strongest deck builder. A lot of times I'll try and bounce ideas like off other people, or like when a new set comes out, I'll take whatever I was playing the set before and say like, okay, if I'm going to stick with this ink combination, like what cards do I want to add in? Like, why is this card valuable to add in or not add in? And kind of make some of those decisions. But often if I have ideas, like I'll throw them at the wall at like my teammates or at my other Lorcana friends and just say like, this is what I'm thinking. And then like Dan and Ben and Colby and Kyle and all sorts of people will like chime in and say like, okay, this is good, this is bad, or like we should try this other thing. And the conversations usually like lead to one thing or another. It's definitely not in a silo.
Yeah, that's.
Oh no! Oh gosh! There we go. She's back. She wants to. There we go.
Weird.
Lost her for a second.
I don't know what happened, but you're here.
I was like, it flashed and then I was gone, but now I'm back.
That's very similar to how we deck build as well. Like, it's definitely not our strong suit, and I feel like that's something that really comes with
a lot of practice,
and a lot of like years of experience. I feel like, because a lot of the people that I know that are really good are players that have been playing TCGs
other games forever.
But I definitely take kind of the same approach. Like if I'm liking a color combination and ink combination that has been doing well for me, I'll find a couple cards that I really like, add those in, see if they actually are working. If they aren't, kind of trial and error a lot with our league, which is nice because we have league almost. We could go every night if we wanted.
Yes.
It's definitely helpful when you have things like that. The good thing I'd say about whether it's like you're on a casual team, a competitive team, league, like having other people to kind of just throw ideas at is huge. Like I was going back and forth when they announced the Hiram ban. I was like instantly, I said, I'm going back to Amethyst Steel. Like I dominated with Amethyst Steel in set 6. I wanted to play it when set 7 came out. I was losing to coils. Like I'm going back. And I knew the cards I wanted to change. I put them in, I tested them. I knew that like I was trying to figure out if something should be like a 4 of or a 3 of. And I said, every time I draw this card, would it be better as this other card? And just like I kept tweaking it until it made sense. But it was helpful because like I had a group of people to play against and run 30 games in however many hours and just know that that made sense.
Yeah.
And then like
we had the pleasure of playing in a tournament the weekend of the band.
Same.
Which was...
It was chaos.
It was chaos.
Nobody knew what was happening.
The tournament in Florida? Was that weekend? Or...
So I was in Florida the week... So the Florida tournament was the week before the ban happened. Okay. And then they announced the ban like 3 days later.
Okay.
And then we had local tournaments that were going on. So TFM was streaming from the Encounter, which is like a store that we go to a lot. I was not there because I was actually still in Disney. So like Ben and I went to Southside and then we stayed in Disney for the week. Like we drove up to Orlando and like we're pass holders. So it's like anytime.
Why not?
Right. Like anytime I'm in Florida, I'm going to drive 3 hours and chill at Disney because I have to get use out of my annual pass.
Exactly. Yeah. Gotta make it
But so like they were playing in that tournament on Saturday, and then Ben and I flew back Saturday and played in a local tournament on Sunday. But Nunez on our team had reached out to me and he's like, I know you've been running Amethyst Steel. Like, what are you going to play? Like, I trust you. Like, I'll just run it. And then he went on to win Elsa in that tournament.
Nice. It always feels good whenever someone's like, looks at your deck list and they're like, you know what, this is actually really good. Like, I'm going to just run exactly what you did. It feels really good.
Yeah. He's like, you've tested it. Like, if you're good about it, I'm good about it. And then like I ran the same list the next day, but everyone at that point knew I was going to play it. I still did well. I just didn't win.
Yeah. That is always like the interesting thing of like playing other people's lists. I feel like I played, well, it also did not help that I thought the tournament situation and meta was going to be very different than it was. But the first week of set champs, I played Jafar Wheel because I have been a Jafar Wheel lover since set 3.
Oh boy.
And I was so excited when it won. But at that point, like everyone kind of adjusted to it. And I went into like just absolutely terrible matchups. I was very far from the top tables for that set champ. And it was all right because I met some new players and gave them pointers and had a good time back there with them. And it was okay, but it definitely is different. Like, I think that there's a lot to be said about like coming up with your own list and going into a tournament and making sure like you change a few cards.
Even if it's just a couple of cards, like make sure it's like geared towards like your play style too.
Yeah.
Because like how Kyle plays a deck is going to be completely different than how I play it. And it's going to be completely different how the two of you play it.
Yeah.
Because just how we see the cards and see pairings and see what we're playing against, our brains could work completely different. My husband and Kyle notoriously got onto me after a game for the Ursula's for set champs. It was like, that move, I thought you just lost you the game. Like they were like, oh, she did that, she messed up, like and now she lost. And then Kyle even told his words exactly, pretty much, almost exactly his words. In my head, how I remember him saying it, but was we got in the car to leave, and he goes, "Yeah, that move, on this turn you did this, should have cost." I was like, "Oh, that just cost her the game. She lost," and that turned out to actually be what won you the game.
Won you the game,
and I was like, "Haha, I'm a genius."
When I was playing Amethyst Steel last set, I was playing the Doc variant, and like a lot of people were high on Rabbits and Zeus, and I was like, no, I want to get under everyone. I'm running Docs. I don't care. And I don't remember what the line I did was, but like Ben was watching behind me because his game had ended, and I did something, and he goes, like, why did you do this? Oh, I discarded a genie. I had like 6 ink. I could have like played a genie, drawn a card, inked, played Doc. And instead, I inked something, played Doc for 2, discarded a genie, drew 2, ended up drawing into it like a strength and a Pete. Like, played the Pete, sang the strength, and like it won me the game. And like, he looked at me after and he goes, you were probably winning either way. He goes, but like, I can't play that deck because the line you did just like makes no sense in my head.
Yep.
So I totally understand what you're saying. And even like with Steel Song, I'm sure like Courtney, you probably see it all the time. Like, the singing line you might take is completely different than the shift line somebody else might take, and you both win the game if you play it out.
Exactly. Nope, that's 100% accurate.
Yeah. Also I feel like my brain just goes so fast where I think of the worst case scenario constantly and of my anxiety that I have like 3 different pathways going on at all times. Like it's a minimum of 3 things happening in my brain while
I feel you.
Did you play any set champs this past weekend?
I did. We played on Saturday and Sunday. So Saturday I ran Amethyst Steel. We went to a store we hadn't been to before. So basically like there were 2 options. They were both an hour and a half away. So we decided we were going to the one that like we hadn't been to before. And I was excited because it was like a 24-person tournament, which meant that we actually got 5 rounds. Cause like it's really hard sometimes for us to get 5, like the 5th round. And like we do 4 top 4 and somebody bubbles at X1 and like it just feels bad.
Yep.
So we get to the 5th round. I'm like, great. So round 1, I paired into Emerald Steel. I won my game. Great. Round 2, I immediately pair into Ben. Like we always pair. I'm sure, Bri, like you understand this feeling.
100%.
But, like, it feels so much worse in a room of 24 than it does the room of 12 or the room of 16.
Yes.
Because I'm like, I should have like a 1 in 6 chance of pairing you versus a 1 in 2, and I'm still pairing you.
42-person tournament, round 1, paired against my husband.
It's the worst.
I was the team assassin that week because literally the first like 4 rounds, it was like my husband and then 3 teammates where I was just like, bop, bop, bop. I'm so sorry, guys.
Needless to say, Saturday ended up not being my day. We played 5 rounds. I ended up going 2-3. Didn't feel great, especially because it was the same deck that I literally got first with the week before and like was untouchable. But you have bad days. It's not a big deal.
Sometimes the deck list does not listen to you and the cards do not come to you. That's how I felt. I played Saturday and Sunday, and luckily I went to one of like the smaller areas by us. So tournaments were only 8 players, so we all got a card.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's never my luck. I showed up to one that was supposed to be like no one, and there was still like 15 something people.
Yeah, it was like it was just a very rough day on Sunday because I was playing Steel Song and I paired into like a super aggro version of Amber Steel. And I do not have grab your swords.
Most people don't.
In my deck right now. So I was just like, I lost the die roll too. And I was like, cool, good games. Like I can maybe dig my way out of this potentially, but only if I draw like the perfect combinations.
Yes.
And that did not happen. And then the next round I paired into Ruby Sapphire. And I was like, cool. This is great. This is a great day. I'm having fun.
But yeah, so then I play on Sunday. We couldn't find tournaments for Sunday because it was Mother's Day, which like totally makes sense. Respected stores want to like spend days with their families. But as somebody whose family does not live where I live, all I wanted to do was play.
There's a set champs going on. Maybe you know what? Mother's Day, honey, you got the kids. I'm gonna go play.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
but so I found the one store. It was a 4 p.m. tournament, and they capped at 16 people. Oh. So like I walk into the room, Ben and I'm like, okay, like we'll probably know 2 or 3 people here. We know like 10 of the 14 people who end up playing, and they're like, oh, you guys came, like F us.
I have luckily, because I've gone to the set champs so many times now at these stores, they're like an hour away from me in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
In like a smaller town next to us.
But the locals that are there know, like,
yeah,
there's pretty much like a handful of people from like the busier area that will go out there to those stores.
Right.
But they're all like very like arms open as long as you're not a jerk.
Yeah.
Like they're all very sweet and everyone
there. It's great.
For a good time.
But it's just always funny because you do kind of see the sag of like, oh no, I thought I was gonna be able to do better.
Especially
when that's exactly what it was. Yeah, it's like I walk in, like I'm wearing my sweatshirt, like I'm just doing my thing.
You're known.
Yeah.
Like
right.
Everyone sees your curls and they're like,
oh, there she is. Needless to say, I ended up making top 4, and then I lost top 4 to my opponent who I beat in round 2. He came back for redemption. Ben was on the other side of the bracket, so if we both won, we would have had to battle each other. But my friend who I played got redemption on me. But I won my card and I got my packs. It's all good.
Yeah. Have you won a playmat yet?
Yes, I won my playmat the first Sunday.
Nice.
So I'm 3 for 4 on making top 4, which is kind of a feat in itself.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I have played in 0 set champs this season. So fun fact, I bought a house on the 23rd.
Exciting.
The month before that, I was living in the room right there.
Yeah.
I was living Courtney's upstairs with my son and my husband. And our dogs were staying at my parents. So at least there was only 3 of us out of the 5. But our life has been chaos. We finally got on the house and we should hopefully be done unpacking within the next like week and a half. But I feel like by the time we're done and the house is situated and I feel less stressed and I can actually focus on playing, set champs are going to be over.
I was going to say, you have 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're out of town this weekend. Yes. So I was like, oh.
So you have next weekend
for some set chance going on up in Arkansas.
Yeah.
I think that's where we're going. Arkansas.
I think that's where we're going.
It's drivable, but it's not Texas. Yeah. So you only have like Oklahoma or Arkansas, really.
Yeah, that's
where we're at in Texas.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
From this weekend, do you think like there's anything you feel like you should change from your deck, or you're like, because you've really had success with it, so it almost feels like, is there anything to change?
So I switched my deck completely on Sunday. I played like a totally different combination. So in the 4 I've played 3 different decks.
I love that.
I love that.
Because I've kind of gotten to that where it's like the first weekend I'll play whatever deck that I've been playing most of the set.
Yep.
And then I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. Let's do other things. Like, let's try out other stuff. And that's like how I like playing the end of league season as well.
Right.
Yeah, the 2-week gaps. See, I'm like, me and my husband, we have our no touchy collection, so like our one of all of our cards. So we have to get at least one card for our collection that goes into the sealed binder, cannot be opened unless an artist is going to sign it.
Right.
But once we get the card, I'm like, oh, I can just play utter nonsense now. Like, I can show up with some. I threw together. It was amber, amethyst, something like puppy related, and it was all
nice.
The cards were only had to be Corella, like had to have Corella Deville, like the Deville Manor, like
oh boy,
it was 100% on theme. And my husband and Kyle hated me, and on the online unofficial thing to play with, I was playing it, and it was like had like a 60% win rate. I was like, I feel like people just don't know what it is, and they're just confused the entire time I'm playing.
I mean, like, sometimes you just catch people off guard that way.
Exactly. Yeah. I was like, I'm just going to show up with this. And I just bank off of, after I was like, I take it seriously until we get our card for our no touchy. And then I'm like, okay, now I can just play whatever I want.
Yeah.
I can test this crazy thing that I've been thinking about. I can build this on an Elsa deck I've been dreaming about. Blurple, here I come.
Set 8, here you come.
Yes.
Exactly.
Speaking of set 8, I think we're almost at, like, I think they've only have a few more Enchanteds to announce. So
yes, we've seen every regular card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say they were all loaded into the app also.
Yes. What has been your favorite card that they've announced so far?
Oh, 100% Lady. Like, not even first of all, Lady and the Tramp's my favorite movie, in case you did not already know that.
I kind of guessed that based on your Discord picture. I kind of had a feeling. But yes, we talked about that card last week on the show, and I am so excited for it.
Like, there's already really great Lady and the Tramp synergy in, like, what Ghosty has been really successful with playing, like, the Trinidad stack.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're telling me that, like, I get 2 inkable ladies, one of which can potentially quest for 3 by herself, and the other, when she comes into play, can bring something with her. Like, that's pretty cool. You're telling me I can play Lady and Piglet in the same turn for 3 ink? Yes, please.
Yep. Yes.
Like,
yes.
Even in your Steel Song deck, you can do that. It doesn't have to be like Trinidogs.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm really excited about that. And then, like, on top of that, you're saying in this Amber Emerald combination, you're giving me a Tramp that shifts and maybe draws me cards if it doesn't instantly get banished by my opponent. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of really exciting things happening in that deck that are going to be cool.
I'm very excited for it. Did you see the Enchanteds that got announced today?
The ones earlier today, yes.
Yeah, those were, the art on them has me very excited. As
a Lion King one?
Yes.
Yeah, like, it the amount of people who said, like, whose hands are those? Like, I didn't know it was Rafiki, like, offended me a little bit. I'm like, guys, come on, like, Disney.
Get it together. Go watch your Disney movie.
You're not allowed to play Disney Lorcana until you've rewatched all of these now.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like, the art style, I think this set is really cool, and it's fun, and, like, it's vibrant. The colors are there, and they picked some playable cards, which for a while wasn't the case.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm also very excited for the pull the lever. That card, art is just beautiful. And
wrong lever. I think it's wrong lever.
You're right. It is wrong lever. And I also am looking forward to how many people just, like, scream that as they play it. Whenever
I will do that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm just excited. I think this has felt like the first set in a while that I felt like we were getting a lot of, like, very playable cards and a lot of, like, potentially really strong cards, which feels nice, because I think a couple of the last sets it's been like, oh, here are a handful of cards that are going to be helpful. I don't know about the rest.
Yeah, it's funny because like we had the next chapter video, not lorecast, sort of lorecast, almost a little over a week ago at this point, and there was a lot of really exciting stuff that came from that. But in a way, it almost felt like they brushed over like Reign of Jafar because they focused so much on what's coming next. So now that like we basically had a week of card reveals and we're starting to see everything, I feel like there's a new level of excitement that people have starting to brainstorm again and say like, ooh, what decks can I play? Like,
Yes.
I have a group of friends who have already started saying like, I don't really care about set champs anymore. Like, I just want to start brainstorming set 8.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, I think we're kind of getting to that. And I like having set champs spread across a month, but I agree that like you sometimes get to a point, like last night I felt really bad. We went to League and there were 2 of us because like it's just kind of like a weird state. But our local store is fantastic. And for the 2 of us, we got to play 3 rounds of Pack Rush and got our entry pack still.
That's nice.
Liz does amazing.
Yeah.
Like she's who runs the events for that. And like we started going to that store for League whenever back in set 1, 2, 3, whenever they didn't even have prize support and they were just like, we have a space where you can come play Lorcana, please.
Yeah.
It's free. And we just went because we were like, you know what, we want to play, but my husband kept beating me, and so I was like, I want to potentially play someone that's not just going to beat the crap out of me. And then I get there and get paired against Kyle and get the crap beat out of me even more.
There's something to be said about like when you're sitting at home and playing though, and just like going out and being able to play.
Yes,
I agree. Like I enjoy going out. Like it's a fun, like it feels like
it's like a mindset thing for me, because if I'm playing at home, I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm gonna go grab a snack, or I'm like gonna go do this with, I'll be right back, and like I'm not just playing. Whereas if I'm at a store, granted I have a toddler with me, so it's still like pause for a snack, open this up, toss it, okay, now I'm back to playing. But it is definitely a lot more like I can actually just like focus, where it like makes my brain like not think of, oh, I need to do the dishes, or oh, I can go switch a little laundry, or whatever it could be. Like where I'm at home, I can just be like, oh, do.
It's your dedicated time to like actually focus on getting better or learning new lines or whatever it is you're trying to get out of it.
Yeah, like literally having to like leave, even if it's like go to our friend's house.
Yes.
We take over her table and we play test here. And I'm just like, that helps me to be able to shut off my brain, where I can actually focus on what I'm playing, unless like the toddler's out of his stroller and causing chaos. Then I have to make sure the house doesn't burn down. No. But you know,
I mean, I basically have 2 giant toddlers that are just in dog form, so it's toddler safe enough.
It's toddler safe in the sense that all 3 of them will just run in a circle together.
That is very true.
I know where he's at. I know he's gonna be fine, because the dogs will tell me if he gets near the stairs, they'll bark at him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, if he's somewhere he's not supposed to be, they will tell me.
The
glass things are all right here next to us, so this house is nice where I can shut off, probably more so than other places. Also, because he's used to it from us living here for a month.
Yeah.
I know we're getting to time, so I will ask one last question. If you could give any like newer players or even players that have been playing for a while advice, what would that advice be?
I think the biggest thing is really focus on like setting a goal for yourself and just like trying to attain whatever that is. So like you might go to a set champs and you might say, I just want to win 5 games, not like go 5-0, but I want to win like 5 singular games for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if you're focusing on those smaller things, like every time you do that, you help yourself get that much closer to something else.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that's fantastic advice. Like setting those small goals and achieving those, I think also like help you feel better about like where you were and where you're going, because you're not going to go from, you know, winning 2 games to winning 2 matches even in a month. Like it takes time sometimes, or maybe it's just like sometimes you have a bad day where you don't draw well. So also like not getting down on yourself if you don't make that goal right away. I think like staying consistent is also really important too.
Right. The other thing, and one of my teammates, Nunez, is like has always harped on this, and it definitely like sticks with me, is like find some sort of routine that works for you. Like Bri was just saying, like she doesn't like playing at home because she can't focus on what's in front of her. Like I have friends who can't work from home because when they're working from home, like they can't focus on their work. So like in a similar mentality, whatever like your routine is, just like stick with that. Like every time I go to a tournament, like I listen to the same song in between rounds, like in the car on the way to the tournament. Like that's just my like, okay, I'm going to the tournament.
Song.
Yeah.
So I have
bring it all back. It's bring it all back. Bring it all back.
Nice. That's a good
It's just like an old classic. Like it just brings excitement. Like, I don't know. It's what I do. And so like I've always,
my routine song is Man Eater.
Okay.
Because there's so many men that play it. I was like, I started it with my red purple list. That's literally what I named my red purple list that I won with. I was like, that's when I started listening to the song, and I was like, it's Man Eater because all my red ladies.
Yep.
Like, hello.
Reasonable.
Man Eater. Goodbye, Hiram. And song. My husband's like, you're ridiculous. And then I won with it, and I was like, it's because of the song. So now that's my routine.
Just like it's the little things. It's like, don't play a sport without wearing your sneakers, or like don't go to the gym without bringing your water bottle. Like whatever your routine is, it's just like just get in that habit, like focus on you and try to like forget about everything else. Like I had a lot of really bad anxiety at DLC Atlanta, like the first one, because I was overwhelmed and like I couldn't comprehend that I was sitting at a table playing cards. I was like, this is a big deal. Like people are winning really expensive things. Like it's not just a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And like no matter what the rest of the team was telling me, like I couldn't get that out of my head. And like I lost matches that I should have won.
Yeah.
It just was. I learned from it. Like I've gotten over it. But in that same mentality, like I've told, like Kylie and Dan's wife have talked about this when like we go to other tournaments, because her first DLC was Toronto. And she's like, I'm nervous, like all sorts of things. And I was like, just remember, like you're sitting at a table playing across from anyone, just as if you are at home or at league. And it's hard to wrap your head around that. But if you can try your best to just like tune the rest of it out, it helps you focus that much better.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with that. I feel like it is like I always listen to like the same playlist before tournaments, or I will like if it's a longer drive.
Let's see, where is it?
We can share. Actually,
I literally
have a playlist.
We have it put together.
The episode
Manifest Destiny.
Yes, Manifest Destiny. And I think it's helpful to that point. Like the first time I played like a DLC was Chicago, and I definitely had sort of the same mentality of like, this is huge. Like, I can't believe I'm got tickets to this. I can't believe I'm playing in this. And the more the day went on, and then even like the next tournament, which was Fort Worth, like it just felt so much calmer because I kind of got those like jitters out.
Exactly.
So I think it also just like comes with time.
Yeah. Or it's like also like my husband's best advice for me, where he was just like, what helped me was just like, he's like, you just have to remember, because I would start getting really anxious and nervous about playing in like tournaments, especially whenever you sit down across from someone and they won a golden Mickey in Atlanta. And you sit down
across from the person who won the Chicago tournament in Fort Worth,
it's
and then
terrifying.
told you're going to be on stream.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
I remember this. I watched that back, and I'm like, oh, Courtney had the round one feature match.
Yes.
And it was very like, I think I had one of like my favorite moments with Kyle actually before that game, because he was like a row behind me, and he's like, you've beat me before, you can win. Like don't sweat it, like relax. And he put me in like such a better mindset, because I literally like I sat down and I think my face went like white.
She was still pale after.
I was just like,
I mean, like feature matches are intimidating.
And it was the first time I'd ever been on like that big of a feature match. So I was just like, this is terrifying. How did I like manage this?
Yeah. And so like my husband's advice whenever I started to do that, and I started to panic, and my hands will be like start to like shake a little bit because I started getting like really anxious, and it goes from 3 things going on in my head to a million. And I'm like, oh gosh. She's like, just remember, like you're here, like you're here to have fun. If you're not having fun playing a game, then you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just remember, you're just here to have fun. Just like the person across from you is just here to have fun. He's like, just remember that. And that's like the only thing that can like, get me through my
yeah. Just got to remind everybody else.
Yes.
I'm like, it's fun.
It's a kid's game with Disney characters.
Or I get like we're all gonna have fun. It's fine. We're all gonna have fun. It's fine.
I mean, like I literally missed the entire Super Bowl because I was playing in the tournament that I ended up getting second in at Southside. Like I had no concept of time or anything. And like all of a sudden, like literally Dan and like Dick Burns went to Colby's house, which was like 40 minutes from the store, like watched the entire Super Bowl, Ubered back to the game store to see me like in the finals.
I love it.
That's awesome.
It was wild, but it was the same thing. It's like, we're here to play. Like, I don't care that football's going on. Like, this is what I want to do.
I feel that. Well, before we wrap up, where can people follow you? I know that we have your Instagram in the description, as well as Twitter, now X.
Twitter, whatever we want to call it. Yeah, I'm on X. I'm on Instagram. Forbidden Mountains everywhere. Like, we're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. If you can't find me directly, you can just message from TFM. I have access to most of those things, so I will either see it or be told that somebody was trying to get a hold of me.
Well, we immensely appreciate you joining us. Yes. It was a lot of fun, and we hope to see you soon. Yeah. Will we see you at the PPG tournament?
We literally just booked the Airbnb like earlier today.
Where's your Airbnb?
Well, no, don't.
Wait, no. Okay, you can't do that online. People
we'll
might
talk
stalk
about
you.
That after.
Yeah, no. I definitely wanted to play at that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. There's a whole crew of us. We're all going to be there, so I'm excited.
Yes, we can send all the recommendations.
Well, we will see everybody next week, and we appreciate everybody that joined in. Yes. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.